It's 1st of May, currently 8:58 a.m. GMT. A couple of days ago, I recorded a short in Nasdaq that I took right around in this area right here, and discussed why I want to see price coming back into the other side of this area, and then maybe we'll go from there. But the audio did not record for some reason, and I just want to record it again. And I have one clip that I'm trading, and I took the short right here, and then I'll put that in between here. But then I still wanted to again discuss why I was looking for a price to come back a little bit lower into the structure. So if we go on to that 4-hour chart now, so if you'll see, this is the drop from the Trump's tariff announcement. Price released aggressively lower, and we discussed about like why this could be a potential long opportunity in the previous video. So price had moved up, like this cleaned up that base, this picked up here, this picked up this base. Now this is the move up that needs to maintain. This is that base still, we still could have something inside of this, and this was the momentum which was pushing us above past that base in here. So now price picked up, moved up, and this is now really cleaning up something, something in here. Now we can see that fractal on this futures chart, but we'll take a look at it now. Price price picked up this liquidity here, right here. When price is dropping, there could be some stalling in here, as price is dropping, so it would have stalled around that low on the lower time frames, and then it would have pushed again. And therefore, like, why this pocket here was created, and also like why this pocket here was created. So two key areas, according to me. First area responds pretty well out of it, goes back lower, picks up this, and then it moves all the way back up, cleaning up that apex. Now this is the move down that needs to maintain. Price pulled lower, comes back up, cleans up this apex. Now this is the move down that needs to maintain, right? And then we have this sort of breakout from here. Price already comes back up, fills in that gap in here, pushes lower, comes back again, picks up this. There could still be something available inside of this area which picked up that gap in here, and price pushes lower. Now as price was pushing lower, the liquidity that was pushing it lower got depleted around that area, and price just starts to push up higher, coming into this gap, coming into this area in here, going back up on the other side of this pickup, responding, and this is that gap. So price came a little bit low than that gap. Still there's a little bit of vulnerability in this area, and price pushing up. Now price pushes up through this area. Let's go like this. So now price pushes up through that area above this fractal, pushing its liquidity inside of this right here. Now we take a closer look at how this accumulation was created. Now we mark this area here. This is a very important area for me, because first price is pushing us past this range with this bit of accumulation in here, and where there could still be something around in these areas, but then I would see like, yeah, this is picking up something. So I was anticipating a move back into that base here. Now here price picks up something, moves back, inventory into that area. The top side got picked up right there. There could still be something on the other end of that. That's why I selected this red pocket in here. And then as you try to go on the lower time frame, you'll see a small pockets which are feeding that price action into this. You could see some smaller pockets in these areas which could respond as well. Now here, as price tries to clean up that inventory and offsetting it with its current sell momentum in here, this picked up that top end of the tag. This picks up what picked up that top end of that tag, goes back up, cleans up this. If you go on the lower time frames, it looks very depleted. Now this is the move up that needs to maintain, and as price was coming back into this tag of this whole accumulation, price cleans up this tag, moves up into that newer liquidity. That's why I wanted to sell, but I could not take the sell in here because I was not at the desk when price extended up here. So now let's drop on the lower time frames. This is how the 15 minute was looking like. So let's discuss this. So when price was moving back up, let's go back a little bit more lower here. So as price is moving back up, price cleans up that base, moves up, extends, goes into that pocket, moves lower right here, and then where's that liquidity? Where's that buy side liquidity that can potentially offset its newer pickup of liquidity here? Well, for me, the way I was thinking, I did not see any liquidity until we get back into this area, that tag on the higher time frame that we discussed. But as you can see, what happened here, price picks up that base here, which I did not anticipate that it will give such big of a response, but it did. But then again, as I was watching in here, so I ended up taking a short right around this area on this retest, because again, this is not that great of a pickup. Price pulls back into this momentum, goes back up again, could not break through and drops. So I thought, okay, this could be a little short in here, and then we could push price much lower. My stop was above that pocket that we are going to discuss, but I want to take a swing short in here. Did not want to get chopped out. I thought it would chop out a little bit before moving lower. It could take multiple sessions to play out, but I thought, okay, just take a small position and see what happens. Now price goes back in, picks up that base. Now this is the move up that needs to maintain, definitely needs to maintain. Now that even I was not anticipating this response from that apex, I now was very closely watching that whole move up. Now here price goes back up, pokes into actually let's go back into the futures chart to see. It's a little bit messy though. So now here this is where I wanted to short, but then price, in the off session hours, in the Asian session, price moved up, comes a little bit a bit through that high, goes back lower, cleans up something from here, goes back up again, picks up this, comes lower, extending. Now this was a good buy, and good buy as well, but I'm going to post a clip, where I'm discussing all of this price action. But price picks up this, goes back up again, and then it starts to sort of move all the way back up into this area right here, and then now I'll insert the clip here. It's 29th of April, currently 5:53 p.m. GMT. This is Nasdaq. Yesterday we talked about taking a short right into this area. Price moved lower, comes into that base, picks up, and this is not what I anticipated. Price since moved up, poked into a new high in here, and then started dealing off lower. This the sell flows in here starts to get a little bit exhausted, picks up this inventory, and now it's pushing up, and since then it's just holding. So again, I'm still looking for this correction, the correction, but basically this move up to actually fail in here and tries to come back into the other side of this base here, and then maybe into that. But then the way this base is dealt up, there's not much, so maybe go back into this, and from our yesterday's discussion, price goes back and tests that. Now the risk is that since yesterday we had the discussion, I thought, okay, this could really move back lower, pick up this inventory, and if it's really bullish, then starts to move back up again. That's fine. If we get taken out, we take some of the position out right here, and then we if the stop gets hit, it gets hit. So, but this is a little bit surprising in here. I wasn't ready for this, but sure, it had moved up. Now I was watching the price whole day, and here it does make sense, why price would respond in here, why price would respond in this area, just because how this whole is dealt off in here. So price now is extending right now into the same pocket that we discussed, and so far let's take this here. Just executed a small position in demo here to see what happens here. Now it's the same level in here, it's the same level that we discussed about yesterday, and then taking a look at this leg. Yeah, sure, this is cleaning up that, and it's picked up, moved into this. This is the move up that needs to maintain. So if on this microstructure on this 1 minute chart, so the flows are continuously trying to push it up, but if price moves lower, starts holding below this for first, and then starts coming below some picking up these structures, I think then yeah, the probability is much higher that we actually go back lower to pick up that liquidity. So far, sadly, that's not the case. It could be a loss on this trade. I've taken another position on live as well, so I could end up taking 2 losses in here. Too bad if it doesn't work out, but still a valid setup. And if it doesn't work out, it just doesn't work out. On to the next one. So yeah, and that point in time, we just I'll be really wrong in this, and then this would be that accumulation right in here just to push it much higher. If I had to say something just by looking at this 1 hour chart, yeah, it'll just looks like an accumulation here, then maybe an extension again, who knows where, maybe into this area or higher, and then maybe it could push back lower, who knows. But then at this point in time, even if it does tries to break out, I don't know, maybe I look for a little bit of stalling in here, not much, but then it just, you know, tries to push back up really, you know, maybe into this area 20,360 and really back up into highs. I don't see much in here. I mean, there could be some stalling, but not much at that point in time. So that's pretty much it. You know, we'll see if it work out, if it will work out, and see what happens here. And by the way, the level here was level was this in here, so executed a short in here, holding heavily so far. If it doesn't work out, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, we'll see what happens here. By the way, we still have the level up right here, but I'm not just interested in that much. We will see how all of this plays out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So now price has now price moved into that base, comes back up, cleans up this inventory in here, which was sort of picking up that whole inventory from this. Now this looked a little bit depleted as it was forming, so price goes back up, picks up that inventory, this picks up this inventory, this cleans up this. Now this is the move down that absolutely needs to maintain, right? And if you take a closer look at this, there's not much inventory in this area. Why? Because all of this price action as it was being created was very bleedy. This was off session price action. These were not the regular trading hours, so all of this price action was depleted. This is the GDP data. Price comes back above, fills in that. Now this pickup here actually picks this whole fractals inventory from here. Why? Because all of this is depleted. Yeah, there could still be some little responses, but the bulk of the momentum has been pushed into, well, this, which picked up by this. Now this is the move down that is carrying the bulk of that inventory lower. And then it hit that other side of that momentum area that we're discussing about in here. It hit that area. It hit that area, response. And I close the position right around in this area. Let me actually check where did I close the position. Hold on, let's see. So here I close the position. I'll see where I close the position, but I think I close the position somewhere around in this area here, and then I'll discuss why I close the position. I close the position here because as price is moving lower, now we already discussed the momentum has been transferred into this leg down, which is pulling its inventory lower. So as it was coming back down, now this is all just thin price action. Major momentum was pushed into this. Now momentum, this is the momentum of this particular down leg. This, what picked up the momentum was the apex's momentum. So now this is really pulling its momentum into that area. Price cleans up this, again goes back above. Now this really cleaned up this. Now this is the move down that needs to maintain for me. Now this leg's momentum, since there are a lot of pickups inside of this area, the major of the liquidity is sitting into this area, which price picks this up, extends once more into the momentum that we talked about, and then it just picks up this and goes back up again. And now I said, like, okay, if this is the move down that needs to maintain, the momentum was here, it's not great that price is just breaking that, and now it's trying to hold us above inside of this area. And then I just thought that, okay, it might push back up, but then it could still end up holding in one of these areas. But then I just do not want to give 1% of the move back, so I just close the position and see what happens. And you can see right here, I close the position right here, which would actually match with I guess, yeah, this area right there. So I close the position right there, maybe a little bit later, maybe a little bit late, but still ended up saving a lot, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then just pretty much just went on into the new inventory, right here. I was not interested in selling it, so I did not take any action around in this area. But one thing right now, currently what I'm watching is right now, one thing I'm very sure about is that this inventory here, or the stalling which was created when price was interacting with those highs, it created another sort of that shell for the momentum in this area, which all of this liquidity hasn't passed along into this area, it could still stall around this area into that area. But then if that fails, then I would say the initial momentum is failing. And then if price holds to, and if price sort of holds below that area, it could still poke into this, maybe respond a little bit a bit well, and then again could come back into this. But then eventually I'll look for price to actually I'll eventually look for price to come back actually into the base in here, and then potentially even filling that gap that it did not did not fill from here. But yeah, that was the trade in here. And yeah, that's pretty much. So initially I was trying to fill that whole move lower, but then I was really aware of this area, and certainly something should have come out of this. So I took half of the position out right in this area from both of the positions, and then yeah, just closed the position right around in this area, and then just went up pretty aggressively to the upside, and that makes sense why it would do that, right? But again, that's pretty much it. And then if it still wants to trade back up, there are a few levels that are coming into this, but then overall, I'll just wait, and was no hard bias. I mean, looking at this and from the previous video, the bias is a little bit tilted to the overall to the upside. Maybe go back and test into maybe a side of this, but then overall I think the way this leg is created, this is really carrying the momentum. So yeah, I'll see what it does around this area, but then if it breaks it, holds, and then I probably see overall in the medium term, maybe by the end of the year, let's say, I'll probably see a move back up into that high. And if that move sort of fails to hold and starts trading back lower, yeah, then you're going to see a very aggressive move here. But yeah, I'm getting a lot out of the current picture. So yeah, that's pretty much it.